It's wild. It's wacky. It's the whole Geek.
Scotty, beat me up.
Reese's Food.
Smash.
It is pointless to resist.
G.I. Joe.
All right. Welcome to the Geek Den. We got Chris Styles back with us. Always a good time.
Always.
And our special guest,
What's up?
How goes it, man?
The legendary Trevor.
In a band called The Blender.
That's right.
Some good stuff you got going on there, man. Why don't you tell us a little more about that?
The Blender is like Buddy Holly meets like the Ramones meets, it's just big.
And then I would wait for the translator. Joe Elliott on Def Leppard, like photograph, like I just thought, like, that's great. I mean,
All right, actually, maybe I should keep it more before I get into the really controversial hot topic issue. Maybe something civilized. Okay, so I if I'm really taking charge here, I'll just talk about shit that I'm into that possibly somebody's into. And so one of the things that I've been really into like the past couple of years, I say past, like maybe like past 6 or 7 years, I got really, really into, and I used to be really like into competitive sports, like physical sports, like football, basketball, stuff like that. And I was, had all like the merchandise and shit, and I was like, watched every single game. And then I watched a documentary on YouTube for Super Smash Brothers Melee, and it changed my entire life. And since I've like never watched like regular sports ever again, I just watch professional Melee. I don't know if you guys have ever. All right. Sick.
No.
Moving on.
Teach us, sir.
yeah. Wait, is this like?
This is intriguing stuff.
No,
So it's like
I have literally known people who have like armored up and went into battle in like a big field and
Oh, it's like LARPing?
kind of.
Hey, you guys,
Isn't it professional gaming of some kind?
you guys have never heard of Super Smash Brothers Melee?
I've heard of Super Smash.
I've heard of
Brothers,
Super
but the
Smash
Melee
Brothers,
part.
yeah, but
Not Melee.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The one,
Inform us, good sir.
the good one for GameCube.
instruct us.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I played like a Super Smash Brothers game that was on the GameCube, like a little bit. Was it that game?
Yes. I'm 32.
I'm 37.
I'm 40 plus.
I didn't know I was. Anyway.
No. The GameCube was probably the only console I never, ever owned.
I had a GameCube at one point. Yeah.
I did, but it mostly went to Mario Kart.
That's because Double Dash is the best.
Yeah.
I feel like
Double
me
Dash
and
is the
Matt
best.
have aged ourselves a little bit here, and so before we went live, we were talking about Sega Master System, and that is like one of those things that almost no one even ever remembers was a thing. But
Barely.
so yeah, because explain the Super Smash Bros. Melee. Is it like you watch people professionally play video games, or you watch them do it in real life?
I mean, you're aware of like esports, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a esport. It's like it's just like one of those big esports that like.
But it's just the one game.
Yeah, I mean, usually,
Oh, right
like
Oh, that's
Kill
awesome.
Tanks,
You learn
Mortal
something new every
Kombat,
day.
Street Fighter
Oh,
2.
shit.
I'll check that out.
It's like, it's always like at Evo is, the fighting game championship thing where they bring all the fighting, like the most competitive fighting games together, and
awesome.
They compete and stuff. Anyway, so I just threw it out there because I didn't know if anybody had ever.
That's awesome, dude. We love
I learned
that
something
kind of
completely awesomely new.
I have a feeling I'm not going to go to bed tonight because I'll just watch that on YouTube. I do love watching esports. I'd never heard it called that before.
I would seriously start with just like YouTube, the Smash Brothers documentary, and watch that, because like I was a very different person before I watched that documentary. I'm very different now. Like it really sent me it's like the craziest rabbit hole that I've ever gone down, and I've never come back from.
I love rabbit holes.
Yeah,
it is the rabbit hole.
I just watched a really cool documentary on Crackle. It's like a 5 or 6 parter on the history of Nintendo. I don't know if any of you guys watched it. I'm guessing not, because it's on Crackle.
I've heard of it. I have Crackle, Chris. It's okay.
Well, it's free. It's I don't even have Crackle. It's free, so I just like went in there, and they're all right, it'll have ads.
Yeah.
So like I'm down for that. Like Tubi and Pluto, those are like some of my favorite.
I love Tubi.
Sources
Tubi
for
is like
streaming.
a godsend. I love that place.
That's just for the free shit's better than Netflix. It's crazy.
Man.
And they have a lot more options too.
Yeah.
But that was a dope documentary.
Damn, I love fighting behind me.
Oh.
Right, go ahead. Sorry.
I love. There's something about documentaries about video games, and like there's certain nostalgia things, and like I don't do sports really anymore either. I mean, I liked them kind of when I was a kid. I like basketball a lot. But it's also for the same reason that I still like old school video games, and I still like old school like 80s and 90s like wrestling, at least late 80s, early 90s, I should say. And there's like a nostalgia aspect to it all, and it all kind of like is tied together. Like there were wrestling video games, and there was like the
Cage
movies of
Match
that era.
85.
Say that again.
Cage Match 85, WWF Cage Match Challenge. Remember that?
Oh, I don't know if is that the one with. That's not the one with Hogan and Zeus. Who was the Cage Match 85?
It was the NES game with
Oh.
Had like Randy Savage and Hogan and everybody in it.
Oh yeah,
I want to say it came out in like 85 or 86 or something like that.
One of my favorites was back in the day was, I think it was called like WrestleFest or something like that. It was an arcade cabinet game.
Yeah, I do remember WrestleFest.
Remember that one?
And it had like or maybe it was WWF Superstars, or it was one of those two. I get them a little confused because it's been like 30 years. But there was one of them that was just like so much fun every time. It was like you'd go to the movies and you get to play a little video game on the way in or the way out or something. It was just simple times.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Remember going to the movie theater and playing the pinball machines.
Yeah.
It's funny, like I don't even play video games really anymore. I'll still watch the documentaries about like the ones I did play or ones I grew up on, or even like new shit too if it's interesting.
Yeah.
I love a good documentary.
It's good. It's so good. Just the Smash documentary. I think you can actually find it like on like Amazon, like you can find it obviously free on YouTube, but like it got so big and it got so many people turned on to competitive Super Smash Brothers that like they put it on like other streaming platforms.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
Exploded. Like it's insane because the game is like 20 years old now.
Right.
And it's the longest running fighting game esport that's out there. And it's because of the passion. It's because people love it so much because the game is so very deep. Like the mechanics of the game are just never ending, like never endingly deep. Like it's just a beautiful game. Like when you watch it at the highest level, there's seriously no other game that comes close. No 2D fighters, no Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, nothing. It is, I don't know. You just have to see it for yourself. Like, I guess I mean, in my opinion, it is just head and shoulders.
Have you entered any tournaments, Trevor, or do you just watch?
I've played just casually because so I'm like partially blind. Yeah. So, like, I just feel like everybody has like an advantage over me, like right off the bat. So it's like, it's just not something I want to sink my time into.
Yeah.
But, it just took that place. It took the place of like physical sports, like basketball and football.
For sure.
Yeah, it just gave you like a new enjoyment.
Right.
Yeah,
and
build the gap.
I can relate to it like so much more than I can physical sports, because fuck no, I can't play physical sports like at all. And, you know, at least I can play like video games, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's so much more relatable and fun to, you know, get behind the people, like your favorite players and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I wrote that stuff down so I can check it out later. That's all.
So sick, dude. It's
got me interested now.
so sick.
See, that's why we bring people here, so we can learn.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see what else we got. It's weird that I'm in charge. I feel so weird being in charge of topics. I was so like ready to just be like, just kind of go with what everybody else wanted to talk about or whatever.
Oh, we'll do a little bit of that too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So to kind of to go with that, not exactly the same thing, but it's like on the same, like twitch.tv is I guess I just wrote down speed running and speed runners, and if anybody's like into watching like you know, people
That
go world records and stuff.
I don't know if they're the real fastest ones, but there were some really obscure games that were prime for speedrunning when I was into NES, like the old Road Runner or the old Mario's 1, 2, or 3. And watching the way some of those guys some of them can exploit the glitches in game, like things like Mario Kart. But some of the guys just know how to time those button push. It's ridiculous. Even on my best, like you're still killing me 3 times on Mario, the very first Mario, World 1, World 1, level 3. Takes me 3 times to get to the end every time, 40 years later. There's guys that just get that button, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
It's sick.
So Mario 1 is actually really special right now because it is it's the closest to being perfectly optimized, like the like humanly optimized as far as like completing it the fastest of any game out there. And and the difference between the computer, like so there's computers that have completed it the fastest it can possibly be completed, and the humanly like fastest completed time is like 0.015 seconds slower than the computer. It's called the tool assisted. So it's really, really special because there's only one more trick in the game that saves like that 0.015 seconds that is left to that, you know, someone has to do in a speed run, and then the game is done. And there's no other game that we could ever say that. There's no other game right now that we can say that with that is that close to being, all right, someone did it.
And what's the fastest a person has done it?
I think it's so they call it any percent. Like 100% is when you take none of the warp pipes, like in 1-2, you go to the warp. So any percent, like, so just completing it as fast as you possibly can without, and taking all the warps and all that stuff. It's 4 minutes and 54 seconds point something. Yeah.
Man.
54 point something.
You know, thinking about Mario and having watched this like Nintendo documentary recently and all this stuff, I can't help but like, there's something that pops into my head every couple of years, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Do you ever just like think, probably not because I'm weird, but does anyone here ever just think like, what if the Mario movie wasn't a total piece of shit?
I always think that, Chris.
The Mario movie's sick. It's so underrated.
It's great, but it's like a masterpiece of shit. It's not like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know who it's for.
Fair.
I can appreciate it for sure because it's uniquely weird and so amazingly 90s.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't make like the fans, like the kids who grew up playing the game happy. It doesn't like make the actors who are in it happy, and the people that were behind the scenes never got to work again.
No.
Joe out here laughing.
You know.
Yes,
like,
it is.
Yep, Joe's here.
There he is. What's up,
Hey, what
buddy?
up, Joe?
Hey, y'all.
I can't see. I'm on my phone, bud.
Joe, you can weigh in on this. We're just talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Do you think it's great?
It's a fucking masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
It is.
I say masterpiece of shit, but that's nothing wrong with that.
It is the Beethoven's Ninth Symphony of shit.
All right. I'll see you guys. Good night.
Oh no,
See what you did there.
Trevor, I love that movie. Man.
It's,
It holds a special place.
I
in my
mean, this
heart,
is the
too.
greatest
I love
movie
this
ever. What are we
shit.
talking about again?
Citizen Kane.
I have it on VHS. I make a point to watch it like every year. I loved it as a kid. I love Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you supposed to do with the Mario universe with what they had to work with?
Yeah,
That's true.
How do you make that into a movie?
That's
to me,
true,
it's like
because-
super inventive. I always remember the visuals. I remember the world. I remember how fucking creepy Koopa is. Fucking what's his
Dennis
face?
Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I remember the special effects were tight, like really ahead of its time.
They really
Like,
were.
I don't know. I know it's like there's a lot of you can spin it the opposite way. I know you can. I know you can spin it. It's
Look how I'm aware. You could.
But I don't know. It worked. It works for me. I really, really like it a lot. And I made my girlfriend watch it, and she was like, "Wow, I don't know why it gets so much shit. This was actually it was fun. It was fun. It was really memorable. Like the world was just very, very Blade Runner. You know?
Yeah.
I think
When
I
you
think part of it. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, you're good. When you look at it that way, like the way you're explaining, then yeah, it's terrific. I think most of the gripe comes from like fans of the game, but
Mhm.
like you said, it was made really early in that series before like anything really existed. They were just trying to do something fun. It was more like that's how kids movies were back then, if you think about it. And I guess it could have been labeled as a kids movie.
Yeah. And it kind of suffers from that because it doesn't know exactly who its audience is.
Yeah.
It kind of falls like there was a lot of 90s movies like that, and was one that I thought Drop Dead Fred was one that I thought.
Oh my god, I love that.
Oh my!
Oh, that's great.
Love,
Fucking love that movie.
Is it for kids?
God.
There's like a lot of swearing. There's like a lot of adult
Yeah.
content in it. Like what the who
Dark
is it
movie.
for?
There were a lot of that time though. The early 90s, like, you know, it was kind of like the fucking Wild Wild West and like
Yeah, we
movies
were-
and TV shows. There was a lot of weird shit
Yeah.
that would never get greenlit today.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Yeah,
like
we
I
were
read,
kinda
like,
let
you know, like
loose,
Drop Dead
like-
Fred and like What About Bob, or like TV shows like Herman's Head, you know, like
Yeah.
or 21 Jump Street. Like all this
Yeah.
shit was fucking ridiculous. It was amazing and I loved it. It was
Yeah.
totally ludicrous.
Ren and Stimpy, dude.
What's up?
Ren and Stimpy.
Oh my god, yeah. What the fuck was that? I was but like I tried watching it as an adult. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like
It's more disturbing than like a lot of shows nowadays, and it was on a
Yeah.
kids network.
Yeah.
it's like acid jazz for kids. It's like weird.
Only the 90s, baby.
And it was just fucking
Yeah,
huge,
you're right. It
too.
really was the wild, wild west of times of like TV times. We were really getting into how far can we take this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
dude, like there was a
PC
She-Wolf
was
of London
PC
show.
was just becoming
Yeah.
a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because like once they broke the barrier with like Sons of Anarchy and everything and really started to cross that line, it just wasn't fun anymore. You know,
Right.
it was more fun to kind of like push the boundaries.
mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We
There's a
didn't
lot
know
of
how
that.
good we had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we had to use imagination. Everything got too real on TV. Like everything became reality, even cartoons.
But you know what else in the 90s? Like we became hung up on shit that we either didn't get or like were rumored to get. Like remember how long people were talking about like Tim Burton's going to do Alice in Wonderland. Tim Burton's. I've been hearing this since I was in first grade before.
Or
You know,
Freddy
finally
vs.
happened.
Jason. When is Freddy vs. Jason gonna come out?
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you lived through the 90s, yeah, like you
Yeah.
know exactly what that was like.
Yep.
And you know, for me to like bring it back to the Mario thing, I remember reading that like Dustin Hoffman was gonna play Mario and like all this stuff. I'm just thinking like, my God, that would have been incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and no disrespect to Bob Hoskins at all. I absolutely love Bob Hoskins.
May he rest in peace.
Yes. The fucking man is a legend. He could do no
Yeah.
wrong.
Smee.
They wanted him as Wolverine. Did you know that?
Really?
Bob Hoskins is Wolverine?
Whoa.
I can't even picture that.
In an
Yeah.
alternate timeline, he was Wolverine.
Wow. That's crazy. I
That is
love
crazy.
seeing those. I love reading those like retro casting articles. Like, what if the Avengers was in the 80s, or what if the X-Men was in the 90s, or what
Yeah.
if, you know, Like who would play who? That shit. I could do that shit for days. Retro casting.
Oh yeah, that's a fun.
I dig it.
There.
Definitely.
So I guess.
But before you move on, actually,
Go ahead.
Trevor, Joe.
Yeah. What up? What's up, Joe?
Well, hey, bud.
How are you?
I'm good. Really big fan.
Dude? I know. I know.
I did a deep dive on like all the old Blender stuff, man, and I've loved everything I've heard, man.
Yeah, for
Awesome.
sure.
Yeah, and I don't know what I guess because my shit's all out of order on the Bandcamp, so I don't even know what you would consider old blenders because it's all like I don't have it like a date by. I just like throw them all up there and just whatever I feel is the least shitty album I put first. You know.
Would Here We Go Again be your first album?
No, it was like
No?
fifth. It was like the fifth album. Yeah.
So
What?
I have to cut you off a little bit because I can see almost every tape that's on this shelf behind you. I got Life with Mikey, Angus, The Willies, and is that The Secret of My Success in between?
Angus.
Yeah.
Angus is
dude.
such an amazing movie. I think that's like
Michael J. Fox kick.
Angus
Dude,
is
that
in my
is
top 3
huge.
for sure.
So I just did are you a fan of the movie Greedy with Michael J. Fox, Phil Hartman,
never
Kirk
seen it.
Douglas?
Never seen it.
Oh, dude, you were missing a fucking gem.
Dude, and I'm on like every time I see a Michael J. Fox movie when we're hunting for VHSs, I always buy it. And The Secret of My Success was one of them I'd never seen. And so,
Dude, that movie is epic. It kind of got forgotten through history because there was a lot of similar movies after that were not that successful. But like Secret of My Success was like, it made more money than Lethal Weapon made that year. Like it was like the second highest grossing movie of that year. It was like a huge hit. And they actually, because of that movie, Universal like signed, J. Fox to like a big multi-picture deal. And he's like, I know what they wanted to do. They wanted to keep remaking The Secret of My Success. And he's like, I didn't really want to do it, but like, then I found out I was like, gonna have Parkinson's and, I kind of need the money. So
Yeah.
I had just watched Mars Attacks the other day and found out that was his like last like starring role was like Mars Attacks. Right before.
Kinda, yeah.
I
don't even
He did
consider
a
that
TV show a few years ago.
Spin
That
City,
was kind of
great
like,
show.
No.
I think it was Michael J. Fox show. Yeah.
Yes. No, it sadly was not very good. I didn't think.
I thought it was hilarious, but
Oh, okay.
I love self-deprecating humor.
No, I do too. I just and honestly, I thought he was good, and like a couple of the cast members were good, but like most of the people that played his kids and his wife, it just
Yeah.
didn't really caramelize the way that you want like a show to,
Yeah.
The idea was good.
Yeah, definitely.
It was great.
The idea was a little out of date though too, because family shows don't do as good unless they're like, I don't know, off the wall a little more these days.
You gotta have a twist, man.
Yep.
Even in the 80s,
like
they
look
knew
at
that.
the Goldbergs, and like people look at that stuff, like The Middle and everything. That's what they see as like family shows these days. So
yeah,
I still
really
can't
hard to
believe that
make
was on
something
for
like that
11
work.
years. It's unreal.
mhm.
The Middle was absolute terribly. It was one of the worst shows on TV.
it ran for 11 years.
Oh, it was bad.
Jesus,
Went for that long?
It
ever
seems like it
watched
was
it?
only around for like a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was around for a while.
This is The Middle. It's not Malcolm in the Middle.
No, that was a great show. Malcolm in the Middle was fantastic.
Okay, because I'm just
Malcolm,
I'm so out of time.
But the Middle was
Malcolm only got like
felt-
5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
It was a great show. It was ahead of its time.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, what was I gonna say? To kind of go back to because I wanted to talk more about like movies based on video games. Okay.
yes.
Please, go,
So-
please do.
The very first one, wasn't it wait, was it Mario Brothers? No. Anyway, the one I wanted to talk about was fucking Mortal Kombat. The movie.
The old school one.
The original?
Yeah. Like the
Okay.
original. I haven't even seen the new one, but
It's good.
It's good.
I really I hadn't seen it for a while,
Mhm.
and I was like expecting it to be pretty cringe, and I was pretty surprised. I was like, a lot of the special effects are pretty damn good. They still like there was Reptile, right? Like they did Reptile in CGI, and it was very primitive, like for the time, and it looked really bad.
Yeah.
And
But it didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
It seemed far worse.
right. There's like
if you're watching on VHS, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's
it was like DVD and then Blu-ray and shit, like makes it, you know, really reveals the strings, you know.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But like the practical shit, like Goro looks awesome.
Yeah,
Goro looks
ridiculous.
To that man behind the curtain.
Man behind the curtain. What?
What was
I
that,
got lost.
You kind of froze up there, buddy.
Did I?
Yeah.
Just for a second. You're good now.
Make the joke again. I want to hear it.
Well, I got everybody's audio, but I can't see anybody.
Oh
no.
Good God, no. We can hear you, Joe. You want to go ahead?
Worst internet connection ever.
That's what it says on the screen.
All right, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to use my phone to do this. The laptop's not working. All right, I'll be back in a second. All right, cool.
Don't get lost in Outworld.
Go then. There are other worlds than these. All right, I'll be back.
So the funny thing, you know, with the original Mortal Kombat, I know this is like not a cool thing to say or whatever, and like whitewashing is like always bad, but that is like my favorite one ever, where they give Christopher Lambert like, you know, the role of Raiden.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck me, like this is like you're not supposed to do this, but damn, Christopher Lambert's awesome. Like,
yeah,
it's so good. I can't really be mad.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. You're right.
You know, it's one of those things. Not cool. Don't do that again unless Lambert's available. He's the only guy. He gets a pass.
You know, I found out so Christopher Lambert's like the highest paid actor on the set, and he wasn't even there for like he was only there for like a couple weeks or something. But you know, Sonya was originally going to be played by Cameron Diaz.
Yep.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, she broke her arm like a week or two before.
Yeah.
So that explains why we got Veronica Vaughn.
Yes, she's one piece of ace.
She is amazing. Like I'm very glad. I'm very glad that it wasn't Cameron Diaz, because who knows? Like, you know, sure, her career turned out fine. And Bridget Wilson from Billy Madison, I think her career turned out pretty good too. And I think she married like Pete Sampras or some shit. Like,
I can't remember.
Some kind of like really famous, like a baseball player or a tennis player or something. So it's like, all right, good for you. Get that money, get that good life. You know, you deserve it, Veronica Vaughn.
You went from teaching third graders to this.
And she was in Nixon. She was in a bunch of stuff. She's in Higher Learning. Like, she's in a lot of movies.
Last Action Hero.
Oh my God, that's right. Of course,
that's right.
Small bit part, but she was good in it. I think.
She's bad.
Oh hell yeah!
I want to say that was her first movie. Honestly,
was it?
I could be wrong.
It might have been. They certainly act like. I love the way they explain it in the movie. They're like, and introducing so and so, like, you know.
Yeah.
Oh God, that movie's amazing though. I wish that should be a whole fucking series of movies. Like the sequels don't need to have anything to do with Arnold. Like get The Rock, get anybody. Just make more fucking Last Action Hero movies.
With the action stars of today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sure, get fucking Statham. I don't care. Get anybody, you know.
Was Last Action Hero, was that considered a flop?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oh yeah.
It didn't like lose money, but it like, you know, coming off of like T2 the previous summer, and then Jurassic Park was like a couple weeks before Last Action Hero. Like you're measuring it against those two films. So like almost any movie is going to be considered a flop comparatively to those. But yeah, I mean, it was like a critical flop too. People weren't 1993 world wasn't ready for that kind of a movie.
Yeah.
That movie within a movie kind of thing. They weren't ready for it at all.
Yeah.
Dude, we are so fucking thirsty for that shit now though. Like,
yeah, we are.
And we're so hung up on nostalgia. Like,
yeah,
it could totally work.
It could totally work.
I mean, I want there to be
reboot it.
I want everything to be a multiverse. Like, I want like the fucking Patrick Dempsey sex comedies to be a multiverse. So, like Loverboy and Can't Buy Me Love and shit. Like, I want it to all just be fucking connected, and you can't tell me that it's not. Dude had a whole career out of like banging milfs in the late '80s. Like, that's just like the dream.
And then he disappears for 20 years and comes back as McDreamy.
Yeah, right. And then and then when he's 40, then he's got a whole career of like melting 20-year-olds,
Yeah.
Dude's just living the dream. The fucking McDream.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys you just can't hate. He's a great actor. He's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally charming, funny dude.
Yeah,
enough underdoggedness about him somehow still, despite being so fucking handsome. You're like, oh, this poor like handsome fucking dude. Like, he can't catch a break. It's so fucking hard being that good looking. I could tell from just watching him.
I know.
Absolutely.
Gotta suck.
So,
what else we got on the rundown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, everybody's here. Everybody's here. Why don't we bring up the hot topic of discussion?
All right.
Okay.
Hot topic.
I was just about to say, hot pocket topic.
All right. This is so. I don't know why we're building this up so much. This is so stupid.
Because we all love food.
I don't know. Today, for the first time in my life, I bought some Hot Pockets at
What
the
flavor?
store. 4 meat and 4 cheese pizza.
Okay.
And I put them in the oven instead of the microwave. And I have to tell you, I'm a changed man. Microwave again.
In the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi, you've taken your first step into a larger world.
I love Star Trek.
Oh, okay. It's all good. I'm just not as into Star Trek.
I'm kidding. The joke was, I've never seen Star Wars.
Nah. There are people who haven't. So it's all good. We're not going to rag on you.
It's like I went to see it in the theater when it like was re-released in the 90s, and I fell asleep.
You were a little kid, yeah?
Yeah, I was like 7, 8.
Yeah.
I used to see it all the time.
Never been a Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
I had this thing with Star Wars my whole life. I was like, not that fucking movie, that old blurry ass 70s sandbox fucking movie. Because it looked like shit forever. You know what I mean? Like we were kids, like the VHS releases looked like shit. And when they like re-released in the 90s, they like cleaned up the print and it looked a lot better. And like seeing it at that age on the big screen was the thing that like got me into it and made me like a Star Wars guy. Yeah. My dad was a total fucking Trekkie.
The same way, like I was never into that stuff until I saw Revenge of the Sith in the theater, and then I was like, I was just never into Star Wars until.
It's crazy.
Revenge of the Sith was your gateway drug. That's so crazy. That's like saying like Vanilla Ice got me into hip hop. You know?
Yeah, kind of, right?
That's surprising because it was like
I like Revenge of the Sith.
Pretty Vanilla Ice was pretty I don't forget the word. It's like easy to get into. Like,
you did a turtle rap.
That's right. That's right.
Go ninja, go.
Matt, what's on your mind, bud? You look.
What's on my mind? Y'all are lucky. There's a sleeping baby right there. I'd be losing my. I wasn't that into Star Wars. I don't believe in democracy. I'm a member of Al Qaeda. What is wrong with you?
Scream out the window.
You're just mind blown.
You know, I'm so. Don't make me start breaking out my Star Wars mashups here. But there are certain things about Star Wars that, and again, you're not a fan, so I'll make it quick, short and sweet. But like some of the characters have such like incredibly, awesomely shitty names that like it's one of my favorite things ever. Like when I found out that
that's pretty true.
The Emperor's first name is Sheev, like Sheev Palpatine. It's just my mind was crazy. It's just like, oh, Sheev's all that. Like Sheev's got to have it. Like Sheev's out of control. Like, you know. And then like Anakin's mom's name is Shmi. So like right there, I'm like, all right, Shmi, myself, and Irene, like stand, you know, stand by Shmi. And you need to, on that poster, you need to have Klieg Lars. That's right. Her fucking husband's name was actually Klieg Lars. And he rode around in like a hover fucking chair. And so he literally can't stand by Shmi. The plight of the Lars family.
Wow.
But that's it. That's my Star Wars rant. Those are the, you know. That and the Conehead dude is named Ki Adi Mundi. That's just a great rolls off the tongue. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my Star Wars rant. I'm sorry.
Back to
I know you're not a fan, Trevor.
Wow. Hot Pockets. I don't know. So I guess
Hot Pockets.
Star Wars and Hot Pockets. They go hand.
They
No, I'm gonna have to try that.
How did we get on to Star Wars from Hot Pockets?
Chris quoted Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
Any excuse to bring up goddamn Star Wars?
It all started with Matt's shocked face.
It just escalated from there.
Oh man.
No, I'm gonna have to try that Hot Pocket thing though.
I have never once cooked a Hot Pocket, Evan.
I gotta try it now. It's
never even thought about it.
I actually I forgot that it existed. Like I was like, I got home and it's been a while since I've had a Hot Pocket because like we're moving, so we've like moved all of our cooking shit into boxes and stuff. I was like, well, I gotta just fucking go to the fucking store and just get something that I can just throw in the microwave. And then I was like, wait a sec, I have an idea. I want to look on the back of this box. You know, ooh. There's these things called ovens that are meant to cook Hot Pockets. Takes 28 minutes, but it's supposed to be crispier,
Worth it, huh?
juicier.
Ooh.
And so I was just really excited about it, and I thought it was stupid.
In the microwave, you get like those hard edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Yeah, certain places get like really. It's uneven as fuck, but the
center's nuclear hot, and then it's still ice.
Yeah.
This was a perfect goddamn Hot Pocket. I'm just telling you, like, it's savoring.
I'm all about taking the extra effort, even with like the non-prestigious food options.
Yeah.
You know? So like give me fucking cheap fish sticks, but I'll do them in the air fryer and I'll like flip them like 20 times throughout the course of like cooking them. You know, or shit like that. I'll put SpaghettiOs in the fucking crock pot and let it simmer all day. You know,
now you're
that's
thinking.
how you know you got it good.
Now you're talking like a
That's
college
living the life.
Never once thought of doing ravioli or something like that in the crock pot. That's amazing. You work at NASA, you should work at NASA.
Chef Boyardee, yeah.
I'm serious, Chris. I'm gonna go do that like right after we get off this show. I'm gonna make ravioli in the fucking slow cooker.
Yes, you gotta have like the cheaper canned shit though, like Chef Boyardee, SpaghettiOs, something like that. You know.
Yeah.
You gotta really like stretch the dollars and cents. You know.
Dude, this could be like a fucking YouTube series right there, turning like cheap garbage. Yeah, like the most delicious way possible.
I would love it. I'd stand there wearing like an ascot, but then like the rest of my clothes would look like hobo, and then like my kitchen would be all disheveled and shit.
Like what's his name? What's his Barf or Barth? From You Can't Do That on Television.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Deep cuts, Gregor. God damn, dude.
That was brilliant.
All the way into the fucking bottom of the bag, dude. That's awesome.
I heard that.
It kind of remind me of In Living Color. Do you remember Anton the Bum? Any of you guys remember those sketches?
Oh, yeah.
Vaguely.
It's been a while since I've watched, but I do remember.
Because he's like the guy
Damon
with
Wayans.
the big box, right?
Yeah, and he would be like, there'd be like an episode where he like puts an addition on the box, And it was it's like, like This House with Bob Vila, but with Anton the Bum. It was so good. Like, now, what you want to do is get some adhesive in there. He'd like smash the two pieces of cardboard together.
Oh,
and he's like, now you got an ensuite commode. And he hold up the pickle jar with like a turd floating in it until you piss. Like, just so fucking good.
Oh my god.
That show was the best.
Oh yeah. My favorite was when they do the Dirty Dozens.
Oh yeah, the Dirty Dozens was great. That was a great bit. And Men on Film, that was like one of my favorites. There was like a class in like middle school where you had to do like an AV, thing. Like, you do 2 weeks with lasers, 2 weeks with AV, 2 weeks with drafting, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
And so like when I had to do like my AV thing, me and my buddy Steve, we were in like 6th or 7th grade. We totally just did like a Men on Film segment. Like we just totally like acted so flamboyantly gay and like did like a movie and it was like around the time that like Eraser was out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So we just made this tape and I'm surprised we didn't get in like trouble for it or anything. It was like, ooh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Eraser. Like I want to erase his clothes. Like
It writes itself.
Exactly, right? Somewhere. I like to think that tape is in a fucking station middle school. Like live. It's in the archives.
Dude,
Do not play.
All those old tapes, like I have a ton of like old like home movies and stuff that like I eventually got older and like, we would, like you're saying, we would just rip off whatever was popular at the time. For me,
oh my god, yeah,
when we were making home movies, it was Resident Evil 1 was really, really not the movie, like the video game. And so the movie hadn't even came out. So all we did was like try to like recreate just going around a house and killing zombies, which was like easy because like your kids, you have just like a, like a toy gun or something. And like, it's easy to just play like a zombie, And so we just, for like years and years, we just made like stupid little zombie Resident Evil movies. And then we got like, in our late teens and then mom was like, all right, don't need these anymore. Like, fuck. I want to see how stupid that was.
Yeah, right?
Our movies.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy used to rip off the Blair Witch Project. So.
Oh, yeah, that's an easy one.
I think I ripped off every movie Jim Carrey made between like 94 and 97. Like, embarrassingly.
That's like 3 movies for 1 year, man. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, like Batman Forever. That was probably the first time I ever tried to like make a movie with my friends growing up. I just basically played Jim Carrey, like playing the Riddler, but horribly. Right. Horribly.
Can we get some of that? Can we get some of that right now? Can you tap to that?
I wish I could. If I could put that on screen, I would, because I have no shame. Or aspirations of like ever getting laid. So I would have no problem with that. Unfortunately, that one may be lost to the ether. I'm a ham though. I try and preserve all that shit. Like bad. I made this horror movie. I thought this was going to be like the next Freddy or Jason. It was called The Landscaper. That's not a joke. It's dead serious. It was like, all right, this guy was landscaping and he got killed, and then he came back for revenge. He's gonna fucking escape and pillage.
Escape and pillage.
Get a Kickstarter going for that,
Joe.
No, it exists. It's a real movie. It was made by me in 1997, and it's it's exactly what you would expect a movie called The Landscaper, made by a bunch of 12-year-olds to be. But we had pyro, sort of. We had a special effect. We used a fire extinguisher to like mist up a scene, and we thought like, yeah, we're making a real movie now. Like, and then my mom came home and yelled at me because apparently that's like really expensive to get a fire extinguisher refilled. Yeah. I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
I was like,
please tell me you guys had like a stone cold line like that the killer said, it's all trimmed up or something like that. I don't know.
Sadly, we didn't even we weren't even smart enough to do that, but we did have a great cheesy scene where we all take turns playing the killer, and there's me tall and skinny, there's my friend short, and then there's my other friend who's like fat. So you could really tell when different people are playing the killer versus who's getting killed in a scene. But we had a great shitty scene where like one of my friends plays another character, a third character. He's just like a wise man in town. He's just like randomly they're in town and they see this guy and he's like, "You woke him up, didn't you? Like you woke him up." Like it just was so bad.
The Jed analog, like from Pet Cemetery. You woke him up now, didn't you?
The kind of like more Friday 13th, like Camp Blood's got a death curse. Ralph on the bicycle, you know. Incredibly shitty, of phenomenal quality.
Right.
Okay, Friday the 13th. I gotta ask, what's the best one?
Oh, 6, hands down.
6 is, I think it's pretty overrated. I think the meta comedy thing, it's like it does not land at all. Like,
really?
I just also feel like the leading guy is like the guy who plays Tommy Jarvis is like he's just like not. I don't know. He's like not likable.
Oh wow.
I don't know. Yeah, the comedy aspect of it just did not work at all for me. Like when I remember watching it as a kid and thinking it was awesome because like I like the comedy in fucking horror movies, Evil Dead 2 and stuff like that. Like I love that shit. And so when I was a kid, I loved that mix of comedy and horror. And I don't know, I watched it maybe like 3 or 4 months ago and I was just like, I really remember that being like so much better than it was. Like what the fuck? Am I watching the wrong version? I don't know. I mean, it just didn't hold up as much as I thought it was going to be. Like I understand everything it's trying to do, but I don't know. It just comes across as like confused. My favorite is the third one for sure.
I was going to say that's my favorite, dude.
And the third one gets so much shit, but like I feel like the third one, like everybody says the fourth one, right? Everybody says, where's the fucking corkscrew? You know, like
more the dancing, Crispin Glover dancing for me is like incredible.
Yeah. And there's some great moments in the fourth one. I'd say that's probably my second favorite is the fourth one. But I feel like the third one is like, you get Jason in the mask, like, but not the whole time. I don't want him in the mask the whole time. I like when he gets in the mask. It's like, oh, it's like you wait for most of the movie for him to get in the mask, and it's like, holy shit, there he is. And he's like, and the guy who plays him, I feel like he's the best Jason, like even more than Kane. Like I love there's something about the way he walks and carries himself, and like a couple moments like that really stand out, like where he gets hung. And like he like has to take the noose off of himself, and like he like accidentally flips up his mask, and you see his face for a little bit. Like that shit really it hits. Like,
see, that to me was actually one part I wasn't a huge fan of because it felt like he was showing her like, it's me, remember me, and he kind of like almost does like a grin, like lifts it, and then like, and it's like like what the fuck was that? Like. But I do like that movie. I will say 3 to me has the best ending of any of the Friday 13th
the best
movies.
Chase, right? The final chase scene.
Yeah.
No. The denouement, the like after it's all over, she wakes up in the boat and then she sees Jason on the second story of the window and he's like freaking out in the window. He looks like a crazy, like kind of, deranged, like, like he's, it's so freaky. And then, Mrs. Voorhees pops out of the water. I love that ending.
It is good. Yeah.
That's just so strange. It's such a weird nightmare of an ending.
Yeah, I haven't seen the sequels in forever. So
I actually like 5 a lot too, even though it's not Jason in 5.
I agree. 5 is underrated.
Yeah, sure. 5 is really I think it's 5's probably the most underrated of all of them. And 2's very solid. I have actually maintained for a long time that they should remake Jason Takes Manhattan. And do it as a period piece, make it set in 80s New York somehow, do what you have to do, but like, give me a movie where he actually takes Manhattan. I love that movie and I love the cast. I love the director and everything about it, except for the fact that it's barely in Manhattan. I didn't really shine up for like Jason Takes a Boat. Like you could just kind of cut all that shit out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. That's actually my favorite one, but yeah, you're right. It totally could have used like more Jason Takes Manhattan instead of Jason Takes a Boat.
Yeah.
Jason takes 2 boats.
He hacks his way through City Hall, and it ends on him standing behind the mayor's desk.
That would be a really different kind of horror movie right now too.
Mm-hmm.
Like a new spin, a really solid spin on Jason Takes Manhattan. That would be fantastic today.
Yeah,
I think people, that title alone has so much promise. It's kind of like, it's like Freddy versus Jason. It's just like, oh man, it's destined to, the people want this so bad.
Yeah.
And at that point too, yes. Yes. And at that point too, like you said, there's 7 movies in the woods, and I don't get me wrong, I love the woods. I could take 7 more there if they're done right. But I could also take fucking Jason in Vegas if they were willing. I could take,
True.
Jason
goes to the White House.
Jason takes Japan. Yeah, why not? DC's got problems that maybe Jason's the only one who can solve.
Tagline, there's the movie tagline right there, baby.
Wherever you send them, just don't send them into space again. That didn't work out.
God.
Oh, dude, no. Come on. Jason X was... another case of thinking that it was gonna be a pile of shit, and I was like, wait, no, this is kind of awesome. Like there are definitely parts that are really, really stupid, like the teacher, like, and there's like he's like getting his nipples twisted or something. Like, you pass. That part's pretty stupid, but like there's some really good kills. I mean, I know it looks like a sci-fi original movie, but there's some really fun parts, and like the part where he goes into the computer generated Camp Crystal Lake, and he's like slamming them against the tree.
Yeah, I love that part. That is
good parts. I think it's not as bad as everybody says.
That's just find the good parts in everything. Even if I don't like it, I'll find at least something I can say was good.
I think, interesting. I'd be curious what everyone's least favorite in the series is. Mine is easily Jason Goes to Hell. Because there's like no Jason in that fucking movie.
No, I'd agree.
It's like, it's the 3rd time we're going to not give you Jason. The first time.
Easy one. That's like so easy.
I'm sorry, what?
It's so easy. Like Jason Goes to Hell all day is the worst. It's like, so bad.
Yeah, it like, it had studio money, but it still felt like a made for TV film. In more offensive ways than Jason X. Much more offensive ways.
And the opening was like, it was just one of the stupidest openings I've ever seen in my life.
But like the fucking gun down scene,
spotlights come down on him, and he's just like, "What? The cops? What? Oh shit! It's a raid!"
As a kid, I appreciated that, but now that I think of it, like that was the one thing I liked, and now that's gone. So thank you.
Awesome, Craig.
What I do?
Actually, the one thing I do appreciate of Jason Goes to Hell, I appreciate that the characters in the film Senior Trip are watching it and they fall in love over it, like talking about. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie National Lampoon's Senior Trip.
Yeah. It's been a while, but that happens in the movie, really?
Yeah, like the side guy, like the not Jeremy Renner, but the other guy.
Yeah.
He's like, watching it on a portable screen, and this girl like comes up to him. She's like, "Do you ever wonder if Jason has nightmares and if Freddy can evade his nightmares?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I think about that all the
time." Yeah.
So good. That movie's great. That's a fun little piece of 90s.
I just bought that movie. I just found it on VHS like a couple weeks ago, Senior Trip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I remember liking it. I remember Steady as She Goes.
Yes, that's like my favorite Star Trek thing ever is like his Trek obsession in that movie.
Yeah.
Kevin McDonald.
When he flies into the lake, I lose it every damn time.
Oh, that bus, Mr. Sulu. Mr. Sulu?
When he's in the van and you just see it like flying through the air.
I'm so
to the Federation.
I'm so excited to watch it. It's gonna be
we should stop quoting it so we don't ruin it.
Oh, good.
But that's a young Jeremy Renner, and for the longest time I always thought like, why didn't this guy become a big movie star? What the fuck? And then I realized, holy shit, that's Jeremy Renner. I guess he did. Cool. One less thing for me to fucking worry about because D'Agostino kicks ass. He rules.
Yep.
And there was a great trailer line. Let's do some Van Damage. That's it. I'm giving you that because it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
I know that. Dumb and Dumber.
Was that in the trailer for Dumb and Dumber?
I'm pretty sure there's a senior trip.
You're right.
On the VHS for Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, yes. That sounds about right. That sounds right. That's probably where the movie came into my, where I discovered it or whatever.
Great minds, baby. Great minds.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But
what else?
I guess to wrap up the Jason talk, so when I was rewatching them earlier this year, the one that I was most excited for, but the most let down, was the 7th one with the with the girl with Carrie,
Lar Park Lincoln, yeah. The 7 unfortunately was ruined by the MPAA. I think 7 would have been the crown jewel of the entire franchise if the MPAA hadn't, neutered every single kill scene in that film. Yeah. That was going to be a gore masterpiece. And say what you will about gore, whether it's good or bad, but if you like that shit, and in the 80s we did, that movie would have been unreal. So good.
Yeah. It could have easily went right to the top of the charts with what they wanted to do with it.
Isn't there like a Blu-ray release or something, or unrated one?
Sadly, no. The excised kill scenes only exist in work print VHS quality because Paramount was not smart, and they just literally, that's where the term cutting room floor comes from. When they cut shit out, it literally falls to the floor and then it gets swept up and thrown out.
Yeah.
So the master quality of that shit does not exist anymore unless someone finds some sort of miracle dupe somewhere that no one knows was made, which it's probably not going to happen. Although maybe someday there will be some kind of AI that can go into tapes and this looks like shit. We're gonna make it look like it was shot on film.
Yeah.
If AI gets that good, then maybe.
And I don't put it past AI. I don't.
Neither do I want Family Ties and Growing Pains in 4K. So I won't think that's gonna happen with AI
for sure.
I need Kirk Cameron's curls, his pre-Jesus curls in fucking HD.
His pre-Jesus curls.
Before
he some piece of work, that fella.
Before he became overtaken with the fucking passion of the ice.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
Passion of the ice.
My mom is obsessed with those movies.
He produced a movie that was supposed to be the first of 12 that were based on a Bible story. And I won't get into it.
Left Behind series.
Yeah, right. His version wasn't even the best version of that movie.
No.
3 people tried it, and his was the absolute worst. And he was the only one out of the 3 of them that actually believed in it.
Yep.
Have you ever seen the YouTube video of Kirk Cameron giving motivational life speeches in the hood?
No.
In the hood?
No.
It's fucking amazing.
How did he survive?
Dude, I don't know.
No kidding.
It's unreal, dude. I literally think that he's gonna get killed any minute every time I watch it. But it's it's every bit is
he's done
awkward.
Multiple ones of these.
I think I've only seen one. Maybe there's probably a bunch because he's fucking Kirk Cameron. He's definitely the only thing he likes more than Jesus is himself. I think.
Talking.
Not wrong.
Yeah. And him, or I should say, the only thing he likes more than Jesus is himself talking about Jesus. And if he's doing that in the hood, and he's telling fucking Bloods and Crips that it's okay, I make mistakes too, even though I'm TV's Kirk Cameron,
It's
I'm not perfect, neither are you, neither is Jesus, so it's all good. And then you see dudes straight up respect. Total stage reactions.
Lifts up his shirt. He's got a stomach tattoo. Says only God can judge me. You can follow.
Yo, man, I was about that thug life, that drug life. Now I'm about that hug life. Okay, man, Jesus just hugged me.
Gold.
Heaven for a thug.
Oh man,
sweet.
All right. What else we got here, boys? I'm
down to talk about whatever.
Circle back here just for a second for Trevor. Trevor, have you tried a solid speed run? And if so, which one's your fastest?
I was reading my topics and I was gonna talk about this. So So speed running like has been around for like a long time, right? I think it started like the first ones that I was aware of was like Quake, I think.
Okay.
And so there's like I don't know how much you guys keep up with speed runs or like the evolution of it or whatever, but it was started out with like a website called speeddemosarchive.com is what it was called. And it was like Quake. And then it just evolved into like, now it's like Twitch, like every day people are breaking world records and stuff like that. And you just have a dedicated community of people trying to figure out like the most optimized way to save 0.02 seconds, just like stuff like that. And I knew that I had it in me to speed run a game. I just knew that I had to find a game that not many people ran. You know what I mean? Because like I don't want to jump in and play like Super Mario Brothers or Donkey Kong Country or something that people have probably played for years and optimized the fuck out of. So this is where Super Adventure Island comes in. And it's a game that I remember playing when I was growing up, and I remember it being very straightforward. It was just like a straightforward platformer. And I bought the game. And I just grinded the fucking shit out of it. And I just slowly, I made it like my life. Like it was, so I'm legally blind. So I like get disability. I get like SSI checks. And so it was like really, really easy for me to like, I'm not going into work today.
I get it. It's what I do in my day.
Right. And so I really made it my life for like for an entire month. But then I got the world record after about a month of like really just like hours and hours and hours every day playing. And it was like I got close to the world record, and then I beat it by a second, and then I beat it by like 10 seconds. Oh, wow. And then I was like, all right, and so my time was 17 minutes and 29 seconds. And I was like, I'm going to stop there. I'm done. And then a couple of years go by, and I'm like, I wonder how my record's doing these days. There's no way anybody's beating it. Some guy beat it by like 32 seconds. Some guy from France, I believe. Wow. And I was like, fuck, dude, I really don't want to do this again. And I just eventually I caved, and I sold the game or got rid of the game because that's how little I wanted it around. Like I didn't want to be tempted to play it again. You know what I mean? Because if it's around,
never talking to you again.
I'm going. Yeah, I think I like just threw it away because it wasn't worth that much. Like it's not a game that people really like that much or like have much nostalgia for. So I was like, there's no need to sell it. I'll just throw it in the trash. So,
and that's specifically the Super Nintendo version, right?
Yeah.
Super Adventure Island.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the original, and I remember playing the original. We actually ported. We were talking about this before from the Sega Master System. It was a game called Wonder Boy.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to anybody that played Wonder Boy back in the day.
Is that the Tenacious D? Is that a Tenacious D reference?
I've often wondered if they are referencing the game Wonder Boy.
Might be.
And I've always wanted to believe yes. Although there are no like mind pellets or anything like that, so
there's the Hydra slice his throat.
Yeah, nobody gets grabbed by the scrot in Wonder Boy. So
you take the high road, I'll take the low. There, the crevasse. Feel it with your mighty shoes.
Yeah, you don't even get to drink juice in that game, so I'm not sure.
That's all you get out of me.
I've never played it. I should check it out. I'm like,
definitely,
obviously like a Nintendo guy. You know, I'm talking about Melee and talking about Super Adventure Island and Mario and shit. But I have like a Wii virtual console or not the Wii homebrew channel thing where I have like all the emulators and stuff, so I can play like Genesis games and stuff. And I played through. I've never actually played through all the Sonic games before, and I recently just played through all those for the first time.
Those are good games. Do you ever play TurboGrafx games?
I don't know if I should get it. Is that the one that's like really like close to like arcade?
Yes. At the time, that was its thing. In Japan, it was called the PC Engine. So the idea was like you had a PC that just played games, and the games came on these like credit card size, like baseball card size cartridges or whatever.
That's cool.
And it was a dope system. It had a great handheld. The very first Street Fighter came out for TurboGrafx, the home version of Street Fighter, but it was called Fighting Street back then. Again, this is another one of those things that, like, my older brother's system, and I just thought it was the first thing to have a CD attachment. It had a really the handheld was great. It played the actual games from the system. So you had like a 16-bit handheld, which was like leaps and bounds ahead of everything else.
That's so dope.
And Bonk.
And Bonk, yes, a great spokesperson, a great game and character to like lead the charge. It was that and Keith Courage and Alpha Zone, man. Those were good games.
Just amazing.
And it had an interesting feature that I think I'm surprised no one ever tried to pick this back up. But it had two switches on the control pad. It only had two buttons, but it also had two switches, each with 3 positions. And they were like the turbo switches. So for certain games, you would have to switch the switches into certain positions, and it would like unlock kind of special like, features or like abilities. Like in Bonk, there was one where you had to put it to turbo so he could bounce from wall to wall to wall. And like you climb up, a whole thing. But yeah, sorry, not to go too deep on TurboGrafx 16.
It's like I wish I could. That's probably not easy to emulate. I would like not as easy as like Super Nintendo and like Genesis. I wouldn't think. I mean, maybe.
No, it's actually pretty easy. Like anything else, the hard shit is emulating CD based games, because then you have to like put the soundtrack on MP3s, and like there's like a weird like usually you have to do some like unlock the last bit yourself. And I can never figure that shit out. So I've never had any problems emulating TurboGrafx games. But the controller factor, you would need an adapter, I think, a USB, which they make for like every kind of controller. So
yeah,
I feel like AVGN hasn't ripped TurboGrafx apart, has he?
AVGN?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So it must be good. If he hasn't ripped it apart, it must be good.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point, right?
I don't know. I definitely don't base everything. Like, there's definitely games that I feel like everybody hates Bubsy. I kind of like Bubsy. Bubsy's kind of sick.
Yeah, I like Bubsy.
The first and second one. I mean, the third one. Okay, that's a different story. But I feel like the second one are kind of like. I like how there's like different routes to get to the end of each level. Like, it's not as linear as some of the other platformers of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My favorite.
I mean, he recorded the Karate Kid game. I thought that was actually pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's impossible and like, yeah, it's full of crap, but like, it's a fun game still.
Yeah.
Isn't Castlevania 2 like not as bad as like he says it is? It's just kind of like suffers from the like Nintendo thing of them not explaining a lot of things. It just kind of like, they just leave it up to the person.
It's kind of like you decide what's kind of going on yourself.
Interesting.
But my favorite platform is actually on Sega, and I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. It's called Green Dog, the beach surfer dude.
Heard of it, never played it.
Oh my god, it's so much fun. You're just a surfer guy on a running platform, and you gotta avoid like crabs and everything, but I played it for hours. Probably played it more than Sonic, honestly. It's such a fun game.
That reminds me of like TNC Surf Designs. I don't know if you guys played that.
I was just gonna say, dude. Yes, I played that when I was a kid, and I loved it.
This game was the shit. You'd be like a gorilla on a surfboard or like a skateboard.
Yeah.
Just max kid, like 80s kid appeal right there.
Yeah.
Trevor, what you got else for us, buddy?
Oh, let's see here. But anyway, so the guy took my world record, and then I tried to get it back a couple months ago, and I got within 5 seconds of the world record. I brought my time down to 27 seconds, but I was getting too angry. I was like, if you ever consider doing anything like at that level, like to get the world record, it's just you have to be really, really, really patient, and you have to be ready to like do the same thing over and over again and fail and fail and fail and fail. It's just it takes a different kind of person, and I realized this go around, the time relearning the game and updating my strats and everything, that I don't think speedrunning is for me. It is not. I don't think I'm patient enough, and I don't think I can just do the same thing for hours and hours. Like I just don't think it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Like I want to say like I fucking have the world record in a game. Like I want that so bad, but it's just not enough to like be punching myself in the dick, you know, every day. Yeah, dick gets
they should make a Speed 3 and bring back Keanu, but it's like they have to do a Speed video game run.
Can't go below a certain speed, and
you have to play Mario Brothers, and you have to get, you have to get to level 4 within 15 minutes or whatever, you know. And it has to be Sandra Bullock. You get that Wildcat back in Shotgun.
Fuck,
quiz hot shot.
These are brilliant like YouTube skits right here that we're coming. Like I see them in my head. It's gold. It's gold.
Yeah, dude.
This is all I do. I've made over 416 or 417 movie poster mashups, somewhere around there. I don't know.
Gold.
Yes, every single fucking one of them.
Gold.
Cage Against the Machine is the ultimate champion.
That's still one of my favorites too. I love that one.
And it's my favorite album cover of theirs too.
It's it's one of those, like, it takes me back to 7th grade. It's just such a staple of that year. And like for, as much as crap as I give the 90s, that one year was pretty good, at least in terms of like, that was the one year I fell into like culture that wasn't like embarrassing entirely 20 years later. And I was like, okay, 7th grade. Like I was listening to fucking Rage Against the Machine, 311, and Sublime. Like those were my 3. Oh, and probably Stone Temple Pilots, Tiny Music from the Vatican Gift Shop. Like those were my records that year.
All good ones too, man.
So yeah, it's like, all right.
Solid picks, man.
One year of the 90s where some aspect of my life was not horrifyingly like humiliating to remember. Like the bowl cuts and the butt haircut and the Jinko jeans and the just every other bad trend that I hit. No fear t-shirts.
Big Johnson t-shirts.
Zubas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Zubas. Everyone. Yeah, I remember, if you go to Chicago Bear games, there's still tons of dudes wearing Zubas. To this fucking day, it's amazing.
What is Zubas? What is
Zubas are like
pants.
They're like MC Hammer pants.
Yeah, but they're like jogging pants, kind of.
Yeah.
And they're animal
like
prints.
windbreaker pants almost.
Yeah. If you kind of like mixed all those things, right?
Yeah.
Like windbreakers and like MC Hammer and like gym, people. And you put animal stripes on them, like
Ooh.
In the color of teams.
And the colors
like
of sports teams.
Yeah.
Damn.
A lot of orange and blue,
They were as big as starter jackets.
Oh my god, starter jackets.
Yeah, if you wanted to look like the early 90s, you would have had the Jordan shoes, with your Zuba pants tucked in and your fucking starter jacket, and you're on your way, man. And then just a t-shirt that's like 15 times too big. I think that was like one of the things of the 90s.
You just summed up the 90s, dude. You need a wallet and a chain.
So
chain wallet for sure.
I was
and like pump shoes.
The Jordan pumps.
Yeah, the Reebok pumps or whatever they were. Yep.
I always think of Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Dave Chappelle.
So good. Hold on. Got a pump.
But let's see. One thing that we got to talk before I might be having to wrap it up here pretty soon.
You're good, buddy.
But one thing I got to talk about. I watched this recently for like the first time in maybe like 10 years, and I found it. So me and my girlfriend, we collect VHSs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I live in Iowa, like I live in Des Moines. And so like this city is pretty picked over, like as far as like there's like a lot of collectors in Des Moines, and it being a big city, you just they either like Goodwills and Salvation Armies are starting to throw VHSs away now.
Oh wow!
And so it's tough. So we go to like smaller cities, like in the surrounding areas. Like, we'll drive like a couple hours and go look for, through thrift stores and just antique stores. And, sometimes you get really, really lucky and like you find like just a pile of them in boxes. And that's what happened to us. Like a month ago, we drove like an hour northeast to this little town called Marshalltown, Iowa. And it's just a crummy little town. I believe like a tornado actually blew through it. Not like a year ago or so. And just so it's really like fucked up. There's like a lot of like, like buildings that are just completely rubble. And so we found a thrift store and or it was like just like an antique store. And we walked in and it was just looked like, you got like action figures, guns, clothes. We're not going to find anything here. And we like turn the corner and there's just like fucking 4 shelves like completely full of VHSs, and then there's like a whole bunch of boxes, like huge ass boxes on the floor with just unorganized VHSs. And it took us hours and hours and hours to sift through them all. But we ended up spending like close to $300 on VHSs.
Wow!
And we found so many bangers that we had been looking for forever, including Gremlins 2 on VHS. And
with the John Wayne scenes, right?
Yes, not the Hulk Hogan scenes. And that's what I remember seeing as a kid was the Hulk Hogan scene. Yeah. So, because we taped it off of like HBO or Cinemax or something. And it's weird. Like, I guess, I don't know. I guess it makes more sense that they would go with the Hulk Hogan scene than the VHS one. But God, I thought that movie was so fucking, it was so good. It might be seriously one of my favorite, like, just like horror comedy movies ever. It's seriously amazing. Up there with
it is
too. And like,
I think it's better. I think it's better than the first film without, insulting the first film at all.
Yeah. You have to have the first film in order for the second film to be, to be where it is.
Yeah.
You bring back fucking Dick Miller, which was great. I could have totally seen the Futtermans not being in it, but thank God they were. John Glover's fucking amazing. Like, I could talk about Gremlins 2 for days. Robert Picardo, the brain gremlin, the spider gremlin, the bat gremlin, the trans gremlin. Like, there's just so many amazing things.
Check this out. I picked this up over the weekend. Hold on, let me grab him. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I gotta go.
Oh boy, Craig got some goodies.
Man.
Oh shit! Tell me he's got the fucking woman.
Oh, I know exactly what he got. Chris, you're gonna love this, buddy.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I know exactly what he got.
I'm creaming.
Since we're talking about Gremlins. It's the ultimate flasher.
Oh yes! The Flasher Gremlins, one of my fucking favorites. Yeah.
I went to Walmart that night and I found the exact same one, so I might have to go back and buy that.
Dude, that's so fucking tight, dude.
Yeah. Walmart is so crazy because every once in a while you find some really good
gems at Walmart.
Yeah.
Now,
I can't believe that, dude.
Yeah, they have like a whole section or like a whole aisle of like Funkos and stuff now.
It's just it's like the same aisle as the video games. And stuff.
Is Gremlins 2 making a comeback right now?
Dude, it never went away.
Yeah,
we've all been rejoicing.
Yeah,
quietly. For a while, or anything Gremlins related for a while. That's a movie that if they did it right, I'd be down for a reboot. Say
hell yeah,
don't CGI the fuck out of it.
It's also one of those movies I feel they shouldn't touch.
Yeah,
I don't know
because it's such a classic.
I just don't feel like I just really want to believe that like little fucking creatures fucking with shit and just getting pure joy out of it. I just feel like I want to believe that it could be rebooted and not be screwed up.
I have we did a show on this less than a week ago. James was there.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be there.
Yeah, you went to the.
I went to vacation one. Remember?
Oh right. That's right. Oh my God, I'm totally forgetting this because it was over a week ago. Then I don't even know when my own shows happen. But I have a lot of theories as to like how you do a Gremlins 3 and you do it good. First of all, you don't use any fucking CGI'd Gremlins ever. You use old school puppet Gremlins and you just use CGI to take out the cables so you can shoot it faster and cheaper.
Dude, this sounds exactly like what the Red Letter Media dude said about.
Did he say that?
I mean, maybe great minds think alike, but I watched right after I watched Gremlins 2, I watched the Red Letter Media dudes talk about it, and I was like, it just sounds like the same thing, but totally.
I mean, they're smart dudes. I mean, I think I heard Zach Galligan. I did a panel with him and Frances McCain, who plays the mom in the first film. I think he even mentioned something like that. He's like, yeah, they could just use CG to remove the cables and stuff because they used to spend hours just hiding the cables and shit back in the day. It was a nightmare. Yeah. He's like, now you don't have to do that.
Yeah, you can just digitally erase it on the computer.
Yeah, pretty easy,
Yeah.
You clean plates of everything.
Yeah.
So, but I mean that, and obviously at this point, like, Zach and Phoebe are grown up. They're married. That's the way I see it, at least. And they have kids, and I want to see them on a family vacation, do like a weekend at Bernie's too, kind of just go to like St. Thomas, go to somewhere like amazing, and then like they run into another family, and that family also has a fucking gizmo, but it's like a female gizmo, and of course they both
Gremlins take over a Carnival cruise ship.
There you go.
Or something. I don't know. Like I say, Gizmo gets a girlfriend. And we have fun. There's a tropical rainstorm, and there's just fucking gremlins all over an island. It'd be awesome.
I'm down for like a totally new setting, but it's like,
well, that's the thing is the first two films have completely different settings, and I think you have to keep in line with that.
Theme.
Yeah. It's got to be like something where you can introduce it to like a new audience without like alien. Like you don't want the story to be like so
alien invasion,
like so. I don't know, like. I guess
you don't want it to be Beverly Hills Cop 3 at the theme park, I
don't know. I just continue the story, right, with the same characters, but you still kind of have to like have something where you can have it work for a fresh audience that doesn't know about the Gremlins. You know what I mean? Because it's like people watch it for the first, that haven't seen the other ones and be like, who the fuck are these people? Why are you
kind of make it its own movie? Instead of a sequel.
See, I think I already know how to do that too. It's all in the opening sequence. The opening sequence is like a montage, and like your main character has to be one of or both of the kids, right? Because it's got to kind of be passed on to like a younger generation. And you just explain in like a quick montage, like this is me like growing up, and
like Wonder Years style.
Yeah, but kind of like, and there's Gizmo. Like, what's Gizmo? Well, here's the story on Gizmo, like, and then you kind of, so that way, like, if you've never seen a Gremlins movie, like, it's all good. Like the first, you Karate Kid 2 and 3, that shit. You Rocky Balboa, that shit. Yeah. So it's like you're showing kind of a little bit of where
like you lay off. And just bring everybody up to speed.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take long to explain, like, okay, he gets wet, he multiplies. He feeds after midnight, he turns into a monster. Sunlight kills him. Those are the rules. That's it.
True.
Yeah, you don't want to change
the sunlight thing is it's funny. I was thinking about this recently. Like, it's almost like, man, why'd they even do that? Because they like almost never use it. The light thing. I guess they do use it in the second film.
Yeah,
but it's like almost more of a hindrance than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
It's like, well, we 3 rules sounds better than 2. Like, well, make up like vampires. Sunlight kills them. Fuck it.
Dude, I watched John Carpenter's Vampires for the first time in a while as well the other day. And that was a movie I was really excited for. And I was like, dude, James Woods being a badass. And I just remember like being pretty gruesome and James Woods being pretty badass. But I was like, that movie was pretty forgettable. Like that does not live up to like the standards of like the other John Carpenter's greats.
I would put it on like bottom toe John Carpenter,
Yeah, it's somewhere between like Memoirs of an Invisible Man and like Ghosts of Mars or Mission to Mars. Somewhere between those two, I think.
Yeah.
Better than Mission to Mars, not as good as Memoirs of an Invisible Man. which was unique. Which is kind of a film that sort of killed Chevy Chase and Carpenter all at the same time, in a sense.
Yeah.
Although I love Village of the Damned. I thought his Village of the Damned was really good.
Yeah.
An incredible cast too.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dudes! I think I might have to call it.
All right, man.
Damn,
it's been awesome.
If I didn't have a good ass time, I was, like I said, never done one of these Zoom things before, but I had a blast. I love it.
Awesome.
If you guys
You
ever
can come back anytime you want.
come back,
Yeah, absolutely. Man. We
Anytime,
appreciate you
dude.
joining us.
Anytime.
Come back
Oh yeah, man.
anytime. Just shoot me a message, bro.
for sure. Dude. All right, now I'm gonna fucking figure out how the fuck to get out of here.
Just hit the red button.
Trevor. All right.
Okay.
Later, buddy.
Peace, guys.
Thanks, Trev.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trevor.
Later, bro.
All right,
You guys want to take a little break here and then
cut
we'll
a
come
break
back?
and we'll shoot this. Yeah. Great minds. Great minds.
Oh, excuse me. Where did you grow up, in the woods?
Some things fall off my pizza, but that's only because it's got so much stuff on it, and I'm losing my balance.
I stole his cheese while he wasn't looking. Pizza raid. Use noise to disorient your opponent. That way you can get more of his stuff on your pizza.
Nintendo. It's a cereal. Wow. Nintendo. Super Mario jump. Nintendo. And a fruit flavored punch. Nintendo cereal system is part of this nutritious breakfast. Nintendo. 2 cereals in 1. Wow.
There's a timeout on the field.
All right, so we're back.
We're back.
Trevor Treiber was a great guest.
Yeah, he
He's a
was.
very
That was
interesting
awesome.
guy. We're definitely going to have him back at some point.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
definitely
Chris-
look forward to chatting with him again.
Yeah.
You pulled up some mashups related to our little conversation.
So yes, and this is fun for me because I get to feel like the king of cartoons, bringing over some content to the Geek Den.
I love the king
as
of
always,
cartoons.
Oh man,
as
My
always,
favorite
I'm
king of
honored.
cartoons.
Oh, me too, man. He's the fucking best. As always, I'm honored just to be here. Even more honored to get to share some laughs with you guys watching at home. So we talked a little bit about
pleasure's
the 90s
all
today.
over here. Trust me on that.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about things that hung up on the things that we didn't get in the 90s, and this is one thing I've been hung up on not getting for pretty much my entire life. Ever since the 90s, I've just always wanted to see this. I don't know why we didn't get it. It's so obvious. It's so perfect. We talked about John Carpenter and John Culkin. I mean, Culkamania is fucking alive and well, and it's fucking red. Like, you guys both need this as badly as I do, and I will do anything. I will fucking pour coffee for free on this set, whatever I have to do. Whose dick do I have to suck to make this happen? Because I'm willing to do strange shit to make this kind of movie a reality. So that is one.
Oh, man.
That is one. I have a couple more. We talked a little bit about Star Wars, and again, keeping it with the 90s. My idea of what Episode 3 should have really been called seems kind of obvious, but
Oh my god.
I mean, you got a whole saga full of movies and like Force and all this stuff. And what does it all come down to? It all hinges on the fact that white men can't jump. That, and I want to hear Obi-Wan being like, no, you can't hear Qui-Gon. Like, you can't hear Ginny. You can't hear Qui-Gon, Ginny. You're listening, but you can't hear.
Oh man.
So we also there was briefly a mention of Stephen Hawking a minute ago, even though that might have occurred off air. But again, keeping it 90s. I am a big fan of thinking man's action movies, which is why I've always wanted. I mean, Eddie Redmayne did a phenomenal job as Stephen Hawking, and he would kill it reprising this role. I don't think Bruce Willis would be offended. I think he's done with the franchise, and I'm not. Get back Sandra Bernhard. because I want Bunny to find some ball. And, you know, hey, that could be the most action-packed thing that Stephen Hawking has ever done.
Oh, man.
They would just, I don't know. I like it. I think it's a smart, it's a smart choice. And my final mashup to share with you guys, we talked about doing some Van Damage. This actually came up in my memories, and I forgot to reshare it, so I'll have to post this up in like a day or two. But my all-time favorite Van Damme movie has always been Time Cop, and I always thought, like, why can't that be a franchise? Why the fuck can't we have Hot Tub Time Cop?
Yes.
I mean, fucking get weirdo Crispin Glover in there, and like I think again, Cusack is done with this franchise. Van Damme is not done with Time Cop. He's always wanted more, and I would not mind seeing Mia Sarah return. Pretty beautiful. He's got the only way to save his wife is through hot tub time copping. But those are the mashups I have to share with you this week. As always, you can follow me at Pop Culture Punk to see more mashups daily. And next week, of course, we'll always have more mashups to share with the Geek Gun.
Oh, we always love them. You know that. Oh, holy shit.
Holy man.
Lord.
Dude.
So
we were just talking about Time Cop, too.
I love Van Damme. It was hard to not go with, well, I don't even want to spoil it because I'll have many more Van Damages to show you all in the future. Van Damage is like one of my favorite verbs ever.
Have you ever heard the band?
No, that's incredible, though. I hope they're synthwave. Are they?
No, they're like a hardcore band back in the day.
Oh, well, that's just as good. You know, that's like Austrian Death Machine or like any of those other bands.
Right.
There is a synthwave band called 80s Stallone, though, and I think that's just an amazing name. Like, that's just incredible. Like, 80s Stallone is the best. Like,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I want to start like a sleazy kind of saxophone-based synthwave band, but like really sleazy. So call it like Sex Tape Rob Lowe or like late 80s Rob Lowe or something. Yeah, there's something like that. Yeah, like the Rob Lowe sex tapes. That would be a great name for a band, and I'm sure Rob Lowe would talk about it. He'd give us like a shout out or something.
Oh yeah, he'd give his blessing on that one.
And your videos are just all like his sex scenes from his movies because he's probably done like 100 of them. Just chop that shit up, and you get 1,000. You get a gajillion views. Because the ladies still love Rob Lowe.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
I can't blame him. He's the hunk. He was like my hero, man. I wanted to grow up to be Rob Lowe and St. Elmo's Fire.
He is a gorgeous, gorgeous man.
Damn.
He's the hunk. I didn't even get to be Patrick Dempsey in like Meatballs 3. He's like stuffing wieners in his pants and shit. Like,
but back on the subject of bands with like names after like actors and shit. There's a band called there was a band in the Philly area called Bob and the Saggitts. Yeah, they were just a fun 3-piece ska band. They played a little basement show here years ago, and
it's awesome.
Became a great friend.
That is dope. There should be a band called Full House Arrest. Or like Lori Loughlin and the Full House Arrest or something.
Oh, God.
Like Aunt Becky, yeah. Like Aunt Becky and the Full House Arrest. Oh, that would be such a tight-ass fucking band. Like Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine or something.
Right.
Oh, that'd be so hot, dude.
Their hit song.
I could just think, I wish I could have just been like one of those dudes that like creates bands in the 80s, creates like fake bands and shit. Like, give me this, and that. Go. Like that dude throwing, like that guy throwing darts in Blank Man. Like, give me the vice president and an alien and S&M sex. Now that's a story. Like, that's how bands and things could be made. I'm telling you. Just need some dartboards in your life, people.
Hell, some of these fucking super groups anymore, it's what it seems like they're doing. They're just grabbing randoms from any genre and playing like you get like Sammy Hagar, fucking and like think of like say Jimi Hendrix, just throwing a name out there.
Well, no, they did a super band with Sammy Hagar,
the
Joe
Chicken Foot.
Satriani, Chad Smith, and someone else. I can't remember who it was. Like it might have been Michael Anthony, actually.
Yeah, Michael Anthony was the bassist. Yeah.
But there was just like that. Even though they're all like somewhat, they're all hard rockish at least. I remember there was that band with like the dude from Fish, Trey Anastasio, and the drummer from the Police, and then like Les Claypool, and it's like that is like those are three things.
You know who must have thrown darts at like a big billboard though? Pigface. They must have been the one band to be like, who do we want on this album? Let's get the guy from ZZ Top. They had the most random spots on every song.
I always imagine that's how Axl Rose was like recasting Guns N' Roses in the late 90s, you know? Give me the KFC Buckethead and the drummer from Primus and a guy from Nine Inch Nails. We got it.
Oh wait,
no?
Izzy's back. We'll take him too. Fuck it.
It's like a Simpsons moment. We keep telling you he's 102 years old and he's dead. I don't care.
I mean, Dave Navarro, Chris Pittman, and some guy who was affiliated with the Beastie Boys. We got it. I love Guns N' Roses.
Give me
so
their
much
lighting
as a kid. I love GNR so much as a kid. I wanted them to get back together for so long, and I hate to even like say it like this, but I feel like they waited too long.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
Yeah, they threw away all the good chances.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Like when they did that thing in the what was that, like the mid to late 90s where they had that comeback. That was their chance and they blew it.
It was Axl and Friends. That wasn't even Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, exactly. He should have just done the fucking like Axl Rose solo album. I don't know why he felt like his name was worthless without the word guns before it,
Yeah.
Like, God damn it, I'm Axl Rose. I'm nothing without the guns.
Axl's Gun Show.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God.
There's one of
How do I
those
go bigger than
bands
guns?
there.
I need rockets and roses.
Axl's Gun Show. Good one, Craig.
Gun Show.
Oh my God.
That's cold.
I'm just trying to think of what like Axl's version of like Eagle Fang Karate like would have been, like him just so wrapped up in his own mind, like spaghetti illusions and roses.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Nothing lasts forever in the cold spaghettios.
Yeah, the spaghetti. They should just, if they do a new album, they should just do the SpaghettiOs incident. Just give everyone something nobody wants. Like do full Andy Kaufman phase. Like just fuck with the people at this point. Just go full Joaquin Phoenix crazy,
Axl Rose, I know you're watching.
Exactly. I want the Crispin Glover fucking like kicking at David Letterman in the face like madness. Meltdowns are so much more fucking interesting to watch, man. That's an interesting game.
Awesome.
We should just play that. Like, if you could pick any person to watch, like, Meltdown for like a year or two and then be totally fine after, who would it be?
Aaron Lewis.
I don't know who that is.
The guy from Stain.
You were quick on that,
Stained.
Craig.
Yeah, he has the funniest reactions. One time he was like playing the guitar and he was like, I swear to God, if you fucking people don't shut the fuck up, I'm out of here. And he was like, stop fucking talking. You've been talking all night. And he just like goes, but that guy, he had some pretty epic meltdowns.
I've seen several rants from him, like on stage. Yeah. Like, no, some of them are justified. Like, seeing girls crowd surfing and watching them get groped, he'll call them. I respect him for that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it's just nonsense. And it's like, people don't like you. That's why they're talking.
And the funniest part is now he's like Mr. Right-wing guy and like going on those tangents.
Just another reason for me to quit listening to him.
Yeah, if you're listening, Aaron Lewis, we know you are, and we got our reasons.
So who you guys pick?
We're on the
watch
outside.
Anyone Meltdown for like a year or two?
Ooh.
And then they're
Charlie
fine
Sheen.
afterwards. He already did it though. We already watched it. He like set the bar.
I know, but I could watch it over and over again. Is what I'm saying.
The Rock.
Well, you don't have to. You can watch it on YouTube now, though. That's like a genie shows up. It's like that Family Guy. The genie shows up like, I want a new hat. I want a new hat. I want them to have new hats. Like,
I don't know. I think a real life Chevy Chase meltdown would be pretty good. Like instead of the vacation meltdowns that he has.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be really good. Fuck. That would be
Matt,
great.
who do you think, bud?
Well, this is tough to answer because I didn't watch it on TV or YouTube, but I'd just gotten into satellite radio. I know you guys are in the United States, so you've been listening to him forever, but I did not know who Howard Stern was until 2006. And if you listen to it in that era, there was the comedian on there was Artie Lang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And his meltdown was like 6 years long. And it was the craziest thing I ever witnessed. And, I mean, quick meltdowns are fun, but I watched this dude's life just come right apart. And it was crazy, but entertaining, really entertaining.
He was riding white rails the whole fucking time.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Piles of them.
Yeah,
piles.
I wasn't trying to bring it down. Like the dude's a funny guy too. Like he's a hilarious comedian.
He is. He's really funny.
But if it's a quick meltdown, I love watching when other like on is it called Shade 45 on Sirius? They had a couple guys on and they just got into a fist fight. One guy won, one guy lost, and then everything was cool right after that.
Like a high school fight.
Yeah.
You know who else? Prince. Because he's so like cordial about it too when he goes off the rails. It's like Mike Tyson from The Simpsons. Come on, guys, shut up.
You know, I would almost be tempted to say Gary Busey, but he's been having like an incredibly beautiful, like 50-year meltdown.
I was gonna say,
I don't really want to disrupt.
Decades with the meltdown.
I don't want to like disrupt the art of what he's already in the process of doing. Like he's creating the masterpiece of meltdown. Like a whole lifetime.
He really is the Pee Wee Herman of meltdowns. They need to have some like carnival music every time he does anything. They need to just have carnival music in the background.
If I could bring it back around for a second, Gary Busey's is the Beethoven's Ninth Symphony of meltdowns.
Yeah.
A living, breathing meltdown for sure. But
So
that's why we love
know,
it.
like
Let's see who else.
Nick Nolte.
Oh fuck.
Nick Nolte.
that's a pretty good one. Yeah, a Nick Nolte like meltdown would be pretty epic. Like Nick Nolte like just like fucking falling off the wagon or some shit. Like would be
hell.
All of a sudden you see him one day hanging out with Gary Busey. It's the Gary and Nick show.
That's when space and time just collapse.
Yeah.
In this alternate dimension.
Explodes.
The point has broken.
I almost want it to be someone like more like I like it when it's someone obscure that all of a sudden they're like relevant again. They were never even that relevant to begin with. Like someone
like Peter Brady.
Or like maybe a little bit more recently, like DJ Jazzy Jeff or someone just like you would never expect. Like this guy always had it together. Like what's that going on about? Like
I got one so off the edge that you would never expect like a meltdown from him. Andrew Dice Clay. I can just imagine. I can just imagine him going like off the rails in the middle of a set, like with how off the wall he is already.
Instead of pretending like he's losing it.
That would be good.
See,
it would actually be really funny to watch Ellen go through it, like she's like losing her show and stuff, and you just like see her just go fucking bananas off the rails.
Yeah,
the things I would do to see that.
Right?
like forget everybody else. Could you imagine Ellen having a Christian Bale moment on her daytime show?
Oh God!
What the fuck are you doing?
How just glorious!
It'd be so good.
Amazing pay-per-view.
You see the camera fall over, and you just see like feet running around. She's out of control.
Or it would be great too to see like Tony Danza come back into relevance.
Oh my God.
Like, and just have him like fucking melt down, and then at the end it'd be like, yo, I just played you all. Like that was
boss now, motherfucker.
But then at the end to have him be like, boom, you all just got punked. That was the most elaborate like hoax ever. Like you're all eating out of the palm of my hand. Like you loved it.
Yeah, like you have the epic, like, you've been out of the spotlight for 30 years. You know Mona's dead? Mona! Like falls to his knees.
Or he gets weird, like, I don't know anything about it, I
swear. Mona, hey, hey, Mona.
Yo, I don't know nothing about that. She was a good kid.
Hey.
Oh man, well, seeing as that completes our who would you wouldn't you want to see meltdown segment.
that was a pretty good one though.
Yeah, I think I probably got a call tonight here too, gentlemen. But
this was fun.
It's always so much fun. I cannot wait for the next one.
Oh yeah, we'll see you
absolutely
next week with our friend Stephen King.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I look forward to that. I have some mashups to show him.
All right. Looking forward to it as always, brother.
Next week it is then, The King and I.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys rule. Thank you so much. I'll see.
Oh yeah, again, Chris, we love you, buddy.
Oh, do you guys probably need to become the host too, right?
Yeah, I'll switch over.
Rehost that before I end the meeting for everybody.
We're good.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right, dudes. You rule. I'll see you guys soon.
Yep.
All right. Later, guys.
Oh,
man,
boys.
This is a playhouse of an episode. We really went everywhere.
We went fucking
lost control.
We got off the rails a few times, but as always, we came back around.
But in the end, that just means we're getting our gist back. Coming back around.
I can say, I now know how you feel. When I say your soup isn't pie, that's how I felt when they were talking about the Star Wars.
Hey, I didn't say I wasn't a fan. I'm just saying that's where I came from. That's where I started.
If everybody in the house weren't sleeping, I was going to toss this computer and just start.
You could have just yelled out the window, just been like, fuck! Your neighbor's barking in the background, neighbor's dog.
That window wasn't open.
You hear your neighbor down the street, will you pipe down?
The original trilogy was the worst. What? This fight you.
I just made a Lord of the Rings fan so mad he threw up.
That's what was wrong with me. I was gonna get sick.
That's why I had to put the kibosh on that. I was like, oh god, Matt's getting mad.
It'll be forever known though, because you just made it classic. I can see it now in the replay. Everybody watching will just see the moment you go,
yep, your look on your face was pure gold.
You did. I'll freeze frame it again right here.
Yep.
And it's not even like my top fandom, but just hearing him just besmirch it.
It hurts.
It's like, hey, Joe just left me in the wind. It's like, bro, you hear they're saying about my Star Wars?
Yeah.
It broke my heart.
I'm the worst.
Oh, holy shit, boys.
Just not used to people not liking it. That's crazy.
That's a night that the light went out in the map world.
The best best part is he picked a country song.
Oh, holy shit.
I think we can call this the best ending ever.
Oh, my God. Fuck it up. Oh, boy.
This is Surly. I can't do it
anymore. Greasy spoon.
Mage.
G.I. Joe.
Here come Pocket Rockers. Tiny tapes, tiny players. Down on the corner, out in the street. Pocket Rockers are playing where the music feels the beat. Pocket Rockers. Play them here. Wear them anywhere. Down on the corner, out in the street. Pocket Rockers playing where the music feels the beat. Tiny players, tiny tapes. Pocket Rockers. Tapes and accessories sold separately. Batteries not included. From Fisher-Price.
We are Flintstones kids, 10 million strong and growing.
It's a big world, and nobody knows more about helping kids grow into it than Flintstones.